Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, December the 3rd, the year 2013. And as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. We are doing two shows for you today. I'm going to do my NFL picks right now, and then later on we're going to do our college football picks with Mr. Joe Spano from Sirius Satellite Radio. So two shows for you today. Before we get to the NFL picks, let's recap what went on in the sports world last night. Let's start with the big Monday Night Football game out in Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks just buried the New Orleans Saints 34-7. Seattle up to 11-1. Saints down to 9-3. They call the Seattle secondary the Legion of Boom. Seattle lowered the boom on New Orleans last night in all aspects of the game. They totally dominated this game from start to finish. The game was over early. You could have shut it off at halftime. It did not live up to the hype. Seattle looked superior last night to New Orleans. How good are those Seattle fans? They are so passionate and loud and just dying for a winner out there. They're hungry for a winner out there. You could see why Seattle hasn't lost a home game in 2 years, and make no mistake about it. With this win, Seattle will have home field advantage in the NFC playoff picture, and that will be huge. What team in the NFC, and the NFC is loaded. I think the NFC is better than the AFC. What team is going to go in there and beat the Seahawks? I mean, you can't have confidence in the Saints after what you saw last night. Seattle already drubbed the Niners this year out in Seattle. You can't have confidence in Dallas or Detroit going out there and winning. Maybe Carolina. Carolina's so hot. They bring a great defense to the table. That would be a matchup I'd love to see, Carolina and Seattle. But you'd still have to favor Seattle. I mean, playing at home, you'd have to favor them. It is an impossible place to play. And they were even short-handed last night. Harvin was out. Two guys in the secondary were out. And they still buried New Orleans. Pete Carroll is doing a tremendous job with that team. How good of a quarterback is Wilson? And danger time for the Saints right now. The Saints are battling with Carolina for the division, and the Saints play Carolina this week, so keep an eye on that race. So tremendous win for the Seahawks. I was so impressed with them last night. If you asked me who was going to make the Super Bowl right now, I'd say Seattle and Denver, but there is a ton of football still to be played. An injury can change everything. Teams get hot at the end. A lot of football to be played the rest of the way. But I would say Seattle, Denver are the favorites right now to get to New York in the Super Bowl. So that was your Monday Night Football game last night. Unfortunately, it didn't live up to the hype. I did catch some other stuff in the sports world last night. In the NBA, I watched Portland at home beat Indiana. Very nice game. Portland is much improved this year. Check them out. Very nice team. In the NHL, I watched the Kings at home beat St. Louis. That was a nice matchup. Watched a lot of college basketball last night as well. UConn at home beat Florida on a buzzer beater. Very exciting game there. Iowa State at home drubbed Auburn. Iowa State is a team to keep an eye on. They look really good. And Texas at home beat Vanderbilt. So I did catch some college basketball last night. All right, without further ado, let's get to our NFL picks for Week 14. How quick is the NFL season going by? It is Week 14 in the NFL season. And when we get to our college picks later on, we're already into, the conference championship games. Football goes way too fast. All right, here's your picks for NFL football Week 14. Let's go to the Thursday game. You talk about one of the worst Thursday games in history. The Houston Texans are playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is that not an awful Thursday night game? Houston, -3 at Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville here. Jacksonville already beat Houston in Houston. Houston has lost 10 in a row. How are they favored by anybody? I mean, on general principle, a team that's lost 10 in a row should not be favored on the road. And I don't love Jacksonville. But they have won more games than Houston and already beat Houston. I'll take Jacksonville with the 3 points and take my chances in just an awful Thursday night game. How in the world do they make Houston a favorite after they've lost 10 games in a row? And they're on the road. I just don't see it. I'll take Jacksonville with the points. All right, here's your Sunday games. The Kansas City Chiefs, -5.5 at the Washington Redskins. I will take the Chiefs here. Washington looks like they're done. They just lost to the Giants. I think Kansas City has to respond here. They've lost 3 in a row. I think Kansas City gets the job done. Washington's got a bad defense. Kansas City should be able to move the ball on them. I think Kansas City handles Washington down in D.C. I'll take Kansas City -5.5. Baltimore at home, -7 over Minnesota. I'll take the Ravens here. The Ravens right now hold that last spot in the AFC. I can't take the Vikings on the road under any circumstances. I just can't do it. And I know the Vikings won last week and they played well in Green Bay. I can't take them on the road here. Baltimore needs this game the worst way. I'll take the Ravens -7 over Minnesota. All right, the New England Patriots are -11.5 over the Cleveland Browns in New England. This is a no-brainer. I'll take the Patriots. The Patriots should score 1,000,000 points here. Have you watched Cleveland the last few weeks? They've turned the ball over 450 times. We don't know who's quarterback in Cleveland. Cleveland has fallen completely apart. New England should bury the Browns up in New England. I'll take New England -11.5. The New York Jets at home, not far from here in the Meadowlands, are -3.5 against the Oakland Raiders. Here's another game. Why are the Jets favored against anyone? Have you watched the Jets the last couple of weeks? They can't move the ball from here to there. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback. I guess it's going to be Geno Smith. He's looked awful. And I know Oakland is not a good team. They look better than the Jets. The Jets can't do anything. I am no way in the world taking the Jets and giving up 3.5 points. I mean, the Jets have trouble scoring 3 points. I'll take the Raiders +3.5 here. All right, let's go to Cincinnati, where the Cincinnati Bengals are -5.5 against the Indianapolis Colts. Very, very tough game here. I will take the Bengals at home with their defense. Haven't loved the way the Colts have played the last month. I don't think they have enough to get the W here. Now, if you told me the Colts were going to cover this game, I couldn't argue with you. I can't see the Colts actually winning this game, so I'll say the Bengals win this game. They win it by about 7 points and cover the 5.5. I'll say the Bengals D carries the day. Cincinnati -5.5 against the Colts. Very nice game, though. Let's go to New Orleans, the Superdome, one of my favorite stadiums, where the New Orleans Saints are -4.5 against the Carolina Panthers. This is for the division lead. Saints coming off that awful performance last night. Carolina red hot. I'll take Carolina here, and I don't like going against the Saints in the Superdome, but I'm getting 4.5. Carolina's got the better defense. They're on a roll. The Saints looked awful last night. Now they got to travel back across the country, play another big game against that Carolina physical defense. I'll take Carolina. The game could go either way. I'm getting 4.5. I'll take Carolina and that ferocious defense to at least cover the game against the Saints. Carolina +4.5. Let's go to Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Eagles are -3.5 against the Detroit Lions. Very, very interesting game here. Detroit is in first place. Philadelphia is tied for first place. Very, very nice game. I think it's a field goal game either way. I'll take Detroit with the 3.5. I think this game could go either way, but I will grab the 3.5 points. I think it's a field goal game either way. I'm on the fence of who I think is going to win this game. If you ask me to pick a winner, I say the Eagles win by 3, but I'll take Detroit with the 3.5. I think it's a flip of the coin game. Let's go to Pittsburgh, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are -3.5 against the Miami Dolphins. Miami right there for the playoffs. Pittsburgh's basically got to win out, and they need help as well. This is another one of these flip of the coin, 3-point games. Could go either way, so I'll take the underdog with the 3.5 points. I'll take the Dolphins. Once again, you ask me who's going to win. I say the Steelers eke it out by a couple points, but I'll take the Dolphins plus the 3.5. Let's go down to Tampa Bay, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at home, -2.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Very, very strange game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay here. I did not like that Buffalo lost to Atlanta last week. I thought Buffalo would handle Atlanta. They didn't, so I'm not going to take them on the road here. I know Tampa Bay got drubbed last week, but that was against Carolina. Tampa Bay does have a lot of talent. I say Tampa Bay gets through at home. They beat Buffalo by like 3-4 points. I'll take the Buccaneers -2.5. Let's go out to Denver, where the Denver Broncos are -12.5 against the Tennessee Titans. I can't go against Denver at home. Right now, Denver has the top seed in the AFC. I think they're going to win the rest of their games. I can't see Fitzpatrick and Tennessee going into Denver and winning this game. I say Denver wins by about 14 to 17 points here. I'll take Denver -12.5 against Tennessee. Let's go out to the desert, where the Arizona Cardinals are -6 against the St. Louis Rams. I'll take Arizona here. I love their defense. They play well at home. The Rams kind of got beat up last week against San Francisco. Now they got to go back to the West Coast and play Arizona. I think Arizona is going to be ready for this game. They really need to win the rest of their games to make the playoffs, Arizona. I think they get the job done here with their defense. I like Arizona -6 against the St. Louis Rams. Let's go out to beautiful San Diego, where the San Diego Chargers are -3 against the New York Giants. Two frenetic teams. The Chargers are up and down. You never know what you're getting from them. Very disappointing year for the Giants this year. I'm going to take San Diego here. They're home. They have Rivers. I mean, they have a lot of talent, San Diego. I mean, they play one bad game, one good game. Maybe they do for a good game here. I can't trust the Giants, especially on the road, so I'll take San Diego reluctantly to beat the Giants out in San Diego. Let's go to Chicago, where the Chicago Bears are -1.5 against the Dallas Cowboys. Chicago really needs to win the rest of their games. Remember, we don't know if Cutler's playing. Chicago all beat up on defense. I've been consistent with Dallas. Against the mediocre to bad teams, I always pick Dallas. Against the elite teams, I go against them. I think Chicago's a mediocre team. I think Dallas can handle them. I think Dallas has more talent than them. I don't think Cutler's going to play. Chicago, like I said, 1,000,000 guys out on defense. I'll take Dallas to go into Soldier Field and beat the Bears. I like Dallas +1.5 against the Bears. And finally, Green Bay at home against Atlanta. This game is off the board right now because we don't know about Rodgers. I don't think Rodgers is going to play, and the Packers haven't won since Rodgers went out. I don't love the Falcons. They did show some life going up to Toronto and beating Buffalo last week. I'll take the Falcons just because I don't love Green Bay without Rodgers. Now, if Rodgers plays, I obviously would take Green Bay. I don't think he's going to play, so I will take Atlanta. So I will take the Atlanta Falcons to go into Green Bay and beat the Packers. So that is your NFL picks for Week 14. Like I said, later on we are going to do our college football show with Mr. Joe Spano from Sirius Satellite Radio. We'll recap last weekend and we'll make all our picks for this weekend as well. As far as tonight, what to watch, very light night in the NBA. There's no marquee games. NHL, you got a couple decent games. San Jose, Toronto's a good game. LA, Anaheim's a good game. Might be a night to check out some college basketball. You got Indiana against Syracuse up at the Dome. Notre Dame at Iowa, and you got Michigan and Duke. That's where my attention is going to go tonight. I'm going to watch that big Michigan-Duke game from Cameron. I want to keep an eye on Duke, showing some defensive liabilities, not a lot of size. Very interesting game there, Michigan-Duke. That's what I'm going to watch tonight. All right, you guys enjoy the games tonight. Make sure to tune into my college football show later on. Should be up sometime in the evening here on the East Coast. If you can't watch it, tonight, definitely tune into it tomorrow or whenever you get a chance. We will be doing our college football picks with Mr. Joe Spano from Sirius Satellite Radio. Okay, you guys are all set. You guys are all caught up. You guys enjoy the games tonight. Stay safe. I will talk to you later with college football picks. Talk to you then. Take care.